What's up YouTube, it's JackalGoldKick, and I'm here with the awesome speaker, and we're going to be doing a video collaboration talking about 5 hardest games that we've played. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some video games that we've played that we think are pretty hard games. So, yeah, let's do this. Let us know what hard games you have played or 5 hard games you've played in the comments below. So my number 5 choice for top 5 hardest games I've played is going to be Dead Rising, the first one. I would say Dead Rising is definitely a hard game, and it's one of those games where you have to just adapt and adjust to it. You know, the game by itself is just very difficult and very hard because especially when you're level 1 and it's your first time playing Dead Rising 1, it's a very challenging game. You have to manage a strict timer, you have to escort survivors, which are very difficult because they have stupid survivor AI, so they're always getting caught by zombies or always getting caught on things. You got to fight psychopaths who are very challenging. You have to solve all the, case files and deal with the zombies, which are dangerous. It's a very challenging game and very hard game. I've gotten a lot better at it over time, and I'm pretty much a professional at this game at this point. But it still is a hard game, even with how good I am at this game. It still can be challenging, especially some of the missions and some of, I would say day 2 is, easily the hardest because the time is so strict. So, yeah, number 5 choice, Dead Rising 1. It's a really good game. I love Dead Rising 1, but it's definitely a hard game. From the strict time limit to, having to escort the survivors who are so hard to escort because of the stupid survivor AI, the hard boss fights, all of that at level 1, especially if you've never played this before and you're just learning the ropes and stuff of this game. It's a pretty damn hard game, and until you really master it and get really good at it, it can be a very challenging game, and it's a very brutal and punishing game, especially for newcomers. But that's what I love about Dead Rising 1, and that's what I appreciate about this game, is I love how hard it is, and it's just one of those games that can kick you in the nuts until you get good at it. So yeah, number 5 choice, Dead Rising 1, definitely a really hard game. My number 4 choice is going to be Resident Evil 4 campaign on professional. One of the things I forgot to mention with this list is it can be either hard games or games that are hard on certain difficulties, but yeah, I forgot to say that. But yeah, my number 4 choice is going to be Resident Evil 4, the campaign on professional. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a good game, but yeah, the campaign in this game was definitely pretty tough on professional and definitely very challenging. Definitely a very challenging game on professional. There's a lot of hard moments in this game on professional. I would say one of the hardest parts in professional is that part in the castle where you're with Ashley and you have to deal with all the Los Illuminados, the cults at the castle, and you got to protect her, and there's enemies that just keep coming and coming. That part is tough. The hardest part in this game of professional that I was stuck on for so long is when you get to the island and you have Mike, the helicopter pilot, helping you out, and you got to get through 2 bases, and there's turrets shooting at you. That part is a fucking pain in the ass because those turrets can do so much damage, and professional difficulty is really tough on Resident Evil 4. You got harder enemies, you could take, you can, damage is a lot more brutal on you. It's a very challenging difficulty mode, especially when they force you to play it from a new game. You can't just, let's say you beat Resident Evil 4 on normal. You can't do a new game plus with what you have on normal with professional. They force you to start fresh, and I like that. It makes it challenging. So yeah, number 4 choice, Resident Evil 4 on professional. Definitely a very tough game of professional. Definitely a very difficult difficulty that was challenging and really hard. Like I said, the section on the island where you have to go through these 2 bases and deal with turrets, that's a hard-ass fucking part. That's a bitch to get through. The U3 boss fight, the It's thing, the giant centaur looking thing, look like the centaurs in Fallout 3, that giant thing you fight, and the kind of the construction thing you have to go through, and then you go out of there and fight him on this kind of rock looking area, cliff looking area. He was pretty fucking hard and professional as well. He was pretty fucking tough as well. He was tough. Krauser was pretty tough as well, though you can just kick his ass with a knife. Like I said, that part at the island and one part in the castle with you and Ashley, that's a very hard part. There's definitely some difficult moments like that in Resident Evil 4 and professional, but overall, yeah, definitely a difficult game of professional and definitely very challenging. But it's enjoyable and fun to welcome the challenge and try to beat it, and it's very satisfying. So yeah, number 4 choice, Resident Evil 4 on professional. So my number 3 choice is going to be Gears of War 1 campaign on the insane difficulty. In my opinion, this is the hardest Gears of War game, especially for insane. This game is a hard ass fucking game on insane. It is a challenging fucking game. It is tough as shit. I like the Gears games, or at least just the first 3. Judgment's okay, 4 and 5's crap. And I do like this game, but this game's campaign on insane is very fucking challenging. It's hard as shit because one of the things that's hard about this game on insane is the locust. The AI is so aggressive. They do so much damage. Sometimes they'll run up to you, and there's some hard parts in this game on insane. Like the Lambert wretches are hard as fuck to deal with because you have to shoot so many of them at the emulsion factory, and there's this one part where they just keep coming after you. When they explode near you, they do so much damage, I would say another hard part in this game on insane is the mansion that you have to hold out in, Marcus's old home, where Baird and Cole goes to get the APC and you have to hold out there. That part is fucking hard on insane. Theron guards are scary to deal with on insane in this game because they can one-hit kill you with a torque bow. I would say the last boss fight, Rom, in this fucking game, hardest part in the whole game. The hardest part in Gears of War 1 on Insane is Rom's boss fight. That boss fight can go fuck itself. Because that boss fight pissed me the hell off. I was getting aggravated with it. It's a hard fucking boss fight. Because you have to fight Rom, and he can eventually come towards you, so you have to kind of maneuver your way on the subway train while you're dealing with the Krill. He can send the Krill after you, and then you got these fucking Reavers sometimes coming from both sides shooting at you. And what makes it difficult is the AI. It's a lot harder with the AI, especially when you're fighting Rom on Insane, because the AI just isn't as useful as a real person. So, getting a real person for that part definitely helps. But yeah, Rom was a hard boss fight on Insane. Definitely pretty difficult. So yeah, my number 3 choice, definitely Gears of War 1. The campaign on Insane. This was a brutal-ass game, difficult-ass game to play on Insane. Enemies did so much damage. The Grenadiers and Theron guards especially could one-hit kill you and fuck you up. Locusts could run up on you. They were really aggressive, and it was just a challenging game to play on Insane and very fucking difficult and hard, especially the last round boss fight, the emulsion factory with Lambert wretches. It's a very fucking hard game on Insane and definitely pretty difficult. You're so fragile, you take so much damage, you have to constantly take cover and take enemies out. It's a hard-ass fucking game. So yeah, Gears of War 1 on Insane, the campaign itself, very difficult on Insane, very challenging. Definitely my number 3 choice. Hard-ass game on Insane, for sure. So my number 2 choice is going to be Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends. What's the mode called? Legend mode, yeah. Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, Legend mode. Hard as fuck. In my opinion, the hardest Warriors stuff you could play. Like the Legend modes in Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends are fucking difficult as fuck and hard. Because what makes them hard is, I meant to paraphrase that, it's Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, Legend mode on very hard. That shit is fucking hard. It's fucking difficult. It is a pain in the ass. Now, a lot of the older Warriors games are pretty tough as well, but I would say Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, the Legend mode on the hardest difficulty, I think it's Expert, not very hard. Expert, my bad. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors 4 Legend mode and on the highest difficulty, Expert, the hardest kind of warrior stuff in my opinion, because what makes it difficult is with Legend mode in Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends is basically like every single character gets like one exclusive stage, and they have like limitations where you maybe can't take items, or there's like certain limitations with all those, and it's like a one exclusive stage that each character gets, kind of like a kind of a story type stage for them, some backstory, and those are also the stages, and that's also the mode where you unlock the level 11 weapons, because they introduce the level 11 weapons in this expansion pack, and the level 11 weapons are fucking hard as shit to get in this damn game. They are fucking difficult. Any character you play as, you're trying to get the level 11 weapon, you got to play the Legend mode stage of that certain character on the max difficulty extreme, and it is fucking hard. It is challenging as fuck, because you got the backstabbing peons, arrow shooters, hard ass officers to fight, on top of it being on expert, and you have certain limitations on certain stages. It could be some difficult fucking shit. I would say one of the hardest legend modes is Xiahou Dunes. Xiahou Dunes is punishing. It's brutal if you want his fucking level 11 weapon, because you start that stage with like only half health, because it's like when he got injured at Jia and he's going after the person that shot him in the eye, and on that stage there's like limitations where you can't because that's the thing with legend mode, like I said, is there's limitations where you're not able to use everything that you can normally use, which is like items, horses, all that stuff. I can't remember all the limitations of Xiahou Dune's legend mode stage, but it was fucking difficult because he starts off with half health. You have to get like 100 and something kills or something, and you have to do certain things by yourself when your health's already half gone, plus the limitations. I think it was like no items and stuff like that, if I can remember. It was fucking hard. Dong Zhuo's was pretty hard if you wanted his level 11th weapon. It was some hard shit. So yeah, number 2 choice, Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, the legend mode and all the stages itself on extreme, fucking hard as hell. Not only difficult on extreme, but if you want to add in the factor of wanting to unlock everybody's level 11 weapon, it is difficult as fuck, with aggressive AI, hard enemy officers, backstabbing peons, the limitations of certain stages not having where you can't use items or you don't get your horse or things of that nature, making it even more difficult, on top of backstabbing peons, hard aggressive enemies to fight, hard enemy officers to fight, and things of that nature. It's very difficult and very challenging, especially if you want the level 11 weapons. But it is very satisfying and rewarding to get it, because the level 11 weapons have really cool designs. Some of the best weapon designs in the series, and I wish they'd bring them back because they look really cool. So while it's very fucking hard, it's definitely worth going for them because they look cool and dope. So yeah, number 2 choice, Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, legend mode stages on extreme, especially if you want to get the level 11 weapons. It was some hard ass fucking shit for sure. So my number 1 choice is going to be Left 4 Dead 2 on expert. To me, out of all the games I've played, this is the hardest fucking game I've played. This game on expert is fucking hard as a motherfucker. It is difficult as shit. This game on expert is a fucking pain in the ass. It's a bitch. It is a tough ass fucking game. Hardest game I've played, easily. I remember back in the day when I was going through this game on expert, me and a friend of mine on Xbox Live, shout out to him, we were going to go through all the campaigns on expert, and it was fucking hard as shit, because on expert, this shit is difficult. Like each attack you get, it's like 10% damage on your health. The enemies are so aggressive, you can take so much damage, and, the tanks take forever to take down, the special infected are dangerous, the witches especially. It is a fucking hard-ass game on expert, especially the campaigns. I can't remember the first one, I think it's like Dead Center or something. The first campaign was pretty fucking tough on expert. Dark Carnival is the hardest campaign on expert out of the ones I played. That shit is fucking hard as fuck, especially the fucking finale where you gotta hold out on the concert, you gotta worry about all the zombies and tanks, and you don't really have a good place to hide on expert. It is fucking tough as shit. The third campaign after that, tough as fuck. I think the only campaigns that me and him were able to do, we could only do Dead Center and Dark Carnival. We never did finish our journey. We got pretty far in the third campaign. I believe it's Swamp Fever or Hard Rain, one of the two. It's one of those campaigns on expert, and we got stuck in the finale where you have to hold out in that kind of like big ass house, and you have to get on the boat. I think that's Swamp Fever. We couldn't beat that. We never got to complete our journey, but that's the farthest we made it, and it was fucking hard. And what makes Left 4 Dead 2 so hard on expert is not only can you take so much damage, 10% damage, aggressive enemies, tanks take forever to kill, the special infected are hard to deal with, and enemies can keep coming. Certain sections where you have to hold out, it's fucking hard, especially since it was just me and him, and we had 2 AIs. We didn't have 2 other players with us. We had to deal with 2 AI players, but it was me and him. And what makes it so difficult is the way you have to play it. You have to play it very smart. With Left 4 Dead 2 on expert, you have to play it like really slow. Like you have to go at a slow, strategic, smart pace where you have to, every area you go to with the guns and enemies you deal with. You have to play it very slow, very smart, where you have to just stand back from afar and take out all the enemies and and you have to take out a lot of enemies from afar and try not to take a lot of damage, and just be really careful. You have to be slow, strategic. It ain't like just standard or casual in Left 4 Dead where you can just go in guns ablaze and killing all the enemies. On Expert, you can't do that. You'll get your ass kicked. You'll fucking die quick. In fucking Left 4 Dead 2 on Expert, especially the campaigns we fucking played, holy fucking shit, it was hard. It was fucking difficult, man. Hardest game I've played. Left 4 Dead 2, my number one choice on Expert. Hardest shit. You know, on top of those moments I talked about and the specific maps themselves. But like I said, the way it has to be played is so difficult because you have to play everything out smart. You have to play everything out smart and strategic. You can't just go in guns a-blazing. You have to sit back, you know, pace yourself, take the enemies out from afar, try not to take too much damage, and keep it moving along while trying to be careful because you can die really quickly. 10% damage, and you only have like 100% life, and it's like 10% damage from each zombie and special infected. It's fucking brutal. The special infected are hard to kill, especially the tanks. They take forever to fucking kill on Expert. There was a funny moment and a scary moment that happened to me and my friend when we were playing Left 4 Dead 2 on Expert that I like to talk about. We were playing through Dark Carnival. We were on one of the stages where you go through like I can't remember what area it was, but it's like one of those areas where it's like meant for lovers or relationships to ride in some like ride where they go around this water trail. We were dealing with a tank one time, and me and my friend, we were squatting in the air duct because we figured, the tank's huge. He can't fit in an air duct, that small ass thing. And me and my friend, we were going through an air duct when we were dealing with a tank, and the tank got in the fucking air duct, and the tank he got his whole body in the air duct, and he was moving right through, and we were like, holy shit. We were like, holy shit, we got the hell out of there. That was scary as hell. That was funny, but it was fucking scary as shit that the tank could actually get into the tiny ass air duct and move towards you. I was like, holy fucking shit. That was a crazy moment. I'll never forget that. And a lot of the times what we did with the witch is, well, we didn't fuck with it because you'd be stupid to. It can kill you right away. But a lot of times the funny thing with the witch is the AI would always set it off. It was always Rochelle that would set the witch off, and she would get killed by it. Which fuck her, because me and the other guy, as long as we keep it moving, we're good to go. Because the AI players, they're not that useful unless you had two other people. But yeah, a lot of times it was like good. She can be the human shield for that hard ass enemy. We don't want to deal with it, So yeah, hard game. Dead Center was tough. Swamp Fever was tough. Didn't get to beat it fully. Dark Carnival, I think, was the hardest out of all the ones I played on Expert. That was a tough ass fucking campaign. The way you had to play it, everything else I mentioned. There was another part in Dark Carnival that was hard. I think it was near the end where you had to go through the ticket booth. Before you could go through the ticket booth to make it to the safe house, you had to hold out against zombies and shit. That part was almost impossible to get through because every time you got to turn like some alarm on, it took forever for the ticket booth to open up. So we were constantly just fighting enemies, and even when the ticket booth opens up, the enemies don't stop coming. So you have to keep them off you while you're trying to make it to the safe house. And it was so impossible for us to get past that part. We kept dying, and it was hard to make it back to the safe house because the enemies kept coming, even when the ticket booth opened up. So that's another hard part. The finale itself at the concert, fucking hard as shit on Expert. All the enemies you got to deal with and the area and grounds you have, it's fucking crazy. Like I said, we did get to do other campaigns, but it was definitely a hard-ass game on Expert. In my opinion, hardest game I've played. Fucking difficult as fuck, but very fun and challenging to play at the same time, for sure. Anything? I'm trying to think of anything else I can add to that. Yeah, not much else. Yeah, my number one choice, Left 4 Dead 2 campaign on Expert. Fucking hard-ass game. So that's it for my list of 5 hardest games that we've played. That was it for my part of this collab of 5 hardest games I've played. Here is the awesome speaker and his part of the video collaboration of the 5 hardest games that he's played. Peace.
Hello, everybody. This is the awesome speaker here, and today I'm going to be joining a collab with JackalGoldKickJGK. And today we're going to be talking about top 5 hardest video games. So, without further ado, let's get started. Right, everybody, I got a list right here of the 5 hardest games in my opinion. I mean, people can disagree. I mean, if they have a hard game that they have played, they can let me know in the comments down below. So let's get started with the list, shall we? Um, the first game is Ratchet and Clink. I mean, this game right here, Ratchet and Clink, um, especially on the remaster on the PS4, is very difficult. Some of the levels are very frustrating. I mean, seriously, some of these levels are so hard to do, especially with all the enemies in the way, especially the final boss. Especially the final boss fight, that was a pain in the ass. It took me about a day. Well, it took me a while to beat, but I was trying my best to beat the boss fight, so that was hard. And plus, it's like one of these kinds of games because I mean, there's a map, but sometimes the map can be confusing because you don't know where you're going. So I mean, it's just a very challenging game. I mean, it's very hard. I mean, yes, it can be easy, but it can be hard because you got all these enemies coming at you, and you're trying not to die, and then you die a lot of times. So I mean, Ratchet and Clank, it's just a very hard game, but it's also a good game too. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest game I have played, but it's one of the most difficult ones I have played so far. So I mean, it's just kind of hard, man. It really is. I mean, the levels, they'll take a while, and plus, you got all these enemies in the way, and certain obstacles, and also, you would have to, like, figure out some things as well. Like, in some of these levels, you would have to figure out a puzzle and shit, and that was pretty difficult. Got some of these because some of these levels, it felt like a puzzle. So, I mean, it was just pretty hard, man. It was just pretty hard, and it was kind of frustrating, and I hate when games are like that. You know, they get very challenging. But I mean, it's good to have challenging games, but sometimes it's like, it's a pain in my ass. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank, it's a pretty difficult game, but it's not the hardest. I mean, there's harder games out there. I mean, you got Cuphead, so I'm just saying. So yeah, we're done with that one. Sonic Mania. Now this game, oh my god. This fucking game is so difficult. I mean, it really is. I mean, once you get, like, if you go through the stages, like, the newer stages of the game, like, the levels, like, once you get into, like, how am I supposed to explain it? Like, the higher the level is, the harder it gets. That's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to figure out what I was trying to say, but the higher the level is, the harder it gets, and oh my god, it was just so annoying. It took me days to complete this bullshit, weeks. And I got so angry, especially at the final level. It just, like I said, the higher the level is, the harder it gets, and you would have to collect all these fucking gems and all this bullshit just to complete the game, and it was just annoying, man. It was just, oh my god. I mean, the game is good. I mean, it's good for what it was worth. I mean the animation's good. You know, the way they made the game is good, but that fucking game is just, man, it's just so irritating sometimes to play games like this because you're trying to figure out how to complete the level, and then you can't because you're struggling with the level. So yeah, Sonic Mania, it had a lot of, seriously, like, this game was so difficult. I just couldn't, I was so angry, you don't even understand. I mean, it's even on my channel. So, I mean, it just got harder and harder and harder, especially with the boss fights, and it just kept getting worse, and I was like, damn, this shit is so challenging, man, it really is. So, I mean, it's a good game, but it's the kind of games where you would just want to rage quit because of how hard it is. So yeah, Sonic Mania was one of those challenging games. It really was. So yeah, I just wanted to say Sonic Mania. I mean, I do recommend, but if you really don't want it to be that hard, pick an easier difficulty, because if you do it much harder, yeah, it gets worse. So yeah, Sonic Mania, pain in the ass. Now this game, Mario Brothers 3. I mean, Mario Brothers 3 was one of the hardest. I mean, besides Mario Brothers 2 and all the other Mario games, Mario Brothers 3, oh my god, this game, it's not, it's kind of like it's easy, but then it's hard. Like I said about Sonic Mania, the higher, like Will said, it's worlds. The higher the world is, it's like, yeah, like I said, the higher the world is, the harder it gets. And seriously, this game is a challenge. Like this game, it may look easy, but it's really not. I mean, sometimes you'll just get irritated with this game. I mean, yeah, once you get the hang of this game, I mean, actually, Mario Bros. 3 was actually one of my favorite Mario games, and plus they introduced the Koopas, the Koopalings. I meant to say all the Koopalings. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool story. It's pretty cool. At least it wasn't Princess Peach getting kidnapped, but then again, everybody gets kidnapped in Mario, so it's nothing new. It's just how it is. But Mario Bros. 3, one of the most challenging Mario games. I mean, it's a classic, guys. It's a classic. So, and I did like the fact that the suits were different. Like they were different. I mean, that's pretty much how it really all started. Ever since Mario Bros. 3, we had games like New Mario, like the new Mario Brothers series and all that. I mean, I guess it got inspired by the Super Mario Bros. 3, I think. I don't really know. But I guess that's how it got inspired. But this game, to be honest, it's better than the new Mario Brothers, series, because at least this game has a challenge and it's not all that easy, which that's what I like about Super Mario Bros. 3. I like the challenge in the game and how the levels were designed, even though they could be a pain in the ass sometimes. But yeah, I mean, Super Mario Bros. 3, it's a pretty difficult game, but I do recommend it. So yeah, I just wanted to say something about Super Mario Bros. 3. Now, another game. These are just choices I picked out. I just picked them out of my imagination. So I was trying to think of games that are hard. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. Oh my god, Crash Bandicoot. This game is so fucking hard. I mean, oh my god. It was to a point where I just didn't want to play it no more. I mean, seriously, like Crash Bandicoot was so confusing. It was like kept dying all the time. Some of the obstacles were so hard to beat. Like even the enemies, and it was just hard. I mean, I've seen hard games, like Donkey Kong Country Returns and games like that, but this game, oh my god, it was just so irritating. Like it was so irritating. I almost wanted to just give up on it because it was that fucking irritating. It was so irritating. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just this game. Yeah, it's like one of those rage quitter games where it's interesting, but it's fucking hard as shit. I'm not saying it's as hard as the other games, but still, I mean, this game, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It really is. It really is a pain in the ass. So, I mean, I even gave up on that game at one point. So I was getting sick and tired, and I even had to look it up to figure out what I was supposed to do, because that's how some of these games are. Because some people think differently when it pertains to video games. They would have to look it up to see what they were supposed to. It's like with this game, and it took me a while to figure out how to beat the bosses and all that, and it just pissed me off. It really did, and it's just a pain in the ass, man. It really is. So. This game, you want something challenging, play this fucking game, and you'll see how hard it is. So, like I said, I mean, it's not the most challenging game, but shit, it's fucking irritating at sometimes. Like, it's so irritating sometimes, it's not even funny. That game, it just got, I don't even know what to really say about that game, really, to be honest. So, So yeah, I mean, really, if I keep going on and on about Crash Bandicoot, it's gonna take all day. So I don't really want to say much. Now, our last game, Apex Legends. Now, oh my god, this fucking, because you know I'm not really into battle royale games, but I mean, here's the thing about Apex. This fucking game is just so fucking. Every fucking time I play it, I fucking die, and people are gonna say, "Well, you're a noob." I mean, seriously, and then I don't even want to get into the rest because then I'll just go on a rant. But because but yeah, this game, Apex Legends, is so fucking hard. You can't even survive for 1 minute without somebody killing you. It's like one of these kinds of games, and I fucking hate it. I mean, I don't mind dying, but every fucking time I play it, that's why I don't even play it no more. It just gets, it's like I never win. I always die, and it's ridiculous. I don't mind challenging games, but this kind of shit right here, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth playing if you're just gonna keep fucking dying. It's like one of those kinds of games, you know. I mean, seriously. Like I said, I'm not into RPG or battle royale games or whatever, but still, it's like I gave it up on this game so many times. Yeah, every fucking time I play it, I just keep fucking dying. And don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible game, but shit, it's just fucking ridiculous. You just never win at all. You never fucking win, and even when you try your best at it, you just fucking lose. It's that fucking irritating, man. Shit. So, I know most of this video I was ranting, but hey, I have every right to say what I need to say. Because fuck, man. It's like, every fucking time you play games like Apex, you would expect to win the game, right? No, you wouldn't. Because you'll just die over and over and over again, and you'll be like, what the fuck? You know? So yeah, this is my video. I didn't want to make it long because, I'm sorry that this list may not be the best, but hey, I did what I needed to do, so yeah, this is my part. See y'all later, and yeah, this is the awesome speaker, and thank y'all for watching.